but like once I actually came through, really took in what the 7 tenets of Yacht Rock actually are. When
you're like coming from the Church of Yacht Rock, and you're just like, once I actually accepted Yacht Rock into my heart, I saw that Quincy
I saw
Jones
the light,
is my
man.
Lord and Savior.
Hello, everybody. You are tuned in to Blood on the Mic, the show where we bring you all things related to music. And I am your host, David Mercado, and with me is
Louis Torna.
And we are talking about music today. The particular,
Like we always are.
Like we always are. But today we're not talking about new music. We're not talking about a particular band or a particular album. Today we're going through a genre breakdown. We're going to be talking about this genre called Yacht Rock. And
you picked the worst genre we could possibly cover.
So there's been this running joke that we've been having for all you longtime viewers, listeners, who we've been joking around that whenever I want to pick out the worst thing for Lucy to listen to, I'd have a Yacht Rock episode. And
because Yacht Rock, you like it for a lot.
I like it a decent amount, yeah.
And I despise it, at least from what I heard before this, which was almost nothing. But from what I heard, I despised it.
So going into this, my expectations are that Lucy would hate it, but that I'd be loving it because I listen to this genre a lot, and the time just goes by really quickly when I listen to it. Maybe I should give you guys a little bit of a background.
Yeah, because Yacht Rock is weird in the way that it got its name.
Yes. Yacht Rock, first of all, it was not really a genre back in the day when Yacht Rock was actually
So what does Yacht
produced.
Rock, what's Yacht Rock actually like define? What's it describing? Like, what is it?
Yeah, so Yacht Rock is a certain style of music, but it was mostly, the name of it was mostly created by this show on Channel 101. Have you heard of Channel 101?
Yeah, Channel 101 was like a video series, I guess a video like competition show or something like that, created in like the early 2000s by Dan Harmon, who went on to create Community and Rick and Morty and do other stuff. But in the
shows
in the early 2000s in LA, he had this thing called Channel 101 where people would make like little 5-minute pilot episodes of shows, and they would screen it in front of an audience, and they'd vote on which shows would have a second episode, or basically a next episode.
Right.
And then they'd keep doing that. So Yacht Rock was one of those. There was a video series called Yacht Rock that was one of those. And I guess it was voted back 12 times because there's 12 episodes.
Yeah, there's 12 episodes of this, and they're all very short. They're about 5 minutes each. And nowadays you can find them on YouTube. You can watch the HD version of it, because the original version, not very good quality. But the whole point is that they came up with this term called Yacht Rock because all this music that had a very similar sound was all produced in Southern California. And what do people do in Southern California?
Yachting?
Yeah, they go out sailing. And several songs actually in Yacht Rock have some sort of theme about sailing or nautical themes associated with it. So I think it fit very well. It definitely stuck. And this series is popular enough to actually make a whole genre out of it.
Well, to name the genre, I guess.
Right. Exactly. And so the series is very popular. I encourage you guys all to watch it. I thought it was pretty good.
From the few episodes I saw, it was actually really good, and I want to watch the entire thing now.
Yeah. So, and I would say it's very it's kind of important to, or it helps to watch the series to get into Yacht Rock even, I would say. This video series has been around since 2005. And actually they got so much traction that people would, there's a Sirius XM channel that was called Yacht Rock. And several people came up with their own playlists. And people, it seemed like they had a distorted idea of what Yacht Rock was. Mm-hmm. They thought it was just anything that was smooth and I mean, they do say the word smooth a lot, but they took it to mean soft. So there was a lot of soft rock in all of these playlists.
Yeah, because
And
soft rock is its own genre. It's
right,
distinct from yacht rock.
yeah, like for example, like America is soft rock, but it's not yacht rock.
I mean, just to be fair, all of it is bad, but it's two different
No,
genres.
that's not true. You don't give yacht rock a bad name. There is a lot of it. I would say is kind of on the popular side. Some of it might be a little corny if you're not into love songs or songs about your boat.
Love songs about your boat.
No, it's not. It's not literally like they even talk about sailing that much, But there are plenty of love songs in this genre. But the guys who came up with the whole concept of what yacht rock was decided to come back and give it a proper definition. And actually, they gave it such a strict definition that they have a podcast that you can listen to or watch. I think they've already been done with it. Maybe they're continuing it still.
They made a podcast about this?
Yeah, there's a whole podcast where basically they tell people whether something is yacht or nyacht, whether it's yacht rock or not yacht rock. And they have a whole grading, they have a whole scaling system. They have 4 people that are grading it. These people I could just assume are the creators, J.D. Resner, Hunter B. Stair, and David B. Lyons, and Lane Farnham. I don't know. The people who participated in the whole series, they have this. Yeah, they have a podcast where they say, no, that's not it. I'll give that one maybe like a 40 out of 100 in terms of how yacht.
It's like 40% yacht rock.
Yeah. So for example, this record that I have back here, Chuck Mangion's, specifically Feels So Good. It got underneath the 50% mark, so it's technically nyacht. But for our purposes today, this is
it's the closest.
It's the closest thing we
rock.
have to yacht rock, and at least in this limited collection that we have over here.
So do they have like a rubric or something, like what makes it yacht rock? Like what?
Yes. They have an outline of 7 items that are important for defining yacht rock. Number 1, it's gotta have a high production value. None of that lo-fi shit. It's gotta be high production value. Number 2.
So Ariel Pink doesn't make yacht rock?
No, Ariel Pink unfortunately does not. I mean, he has some yacht rock influence stuff like that.
I can't feel my eyes.
I can't feel my eyes. Yeah, that one.
Something like that.
I can't hear my eyes. I can't hear my eyes. Yeah, or something like that.
I had that song stuck in my head this morning.
Oh, you did.
And I was like, "Oh, this is yacht rock."
Yeah, it is.
I really did, because when we did the Ariel Pink episode, I was like, "This is weird and not. This is like."
But point number 2, it has to use the elite Los Angeles-based studio musicians and producers associated with yacht rock. So there's a whole web of interconnected artists or musicians associated with yacht rock, and I mean that's partially what the whole web series is based on. I mean, like a lot of the people in these bands themselves.
Michael McDonald
is from the Doobie Brothers. He's present in the background vocals of almost everything.
It's funny because that we made a playlist for this episode, because
yacht rock
isn't like, I wouldn't call it like an album genre. Like it's mostly a lot of singles.
It's mostly singles based.
So you made a playlist of a lot of songs, and like half the songs have Michael McDonald just in the background, and it's just you can't mistake his voice. And it's funny, like, to me, he sounds like a parody. Like, it sounds like he's making fun of himself when he's singing. You're my brother.
He's definitely a very noticeable voice. Yeah, I would say maybe the first couple times you hear him, you're like, oh, what is that voice? I don't know. For me, there's a few distinct voices that I've listened to that it took me some time to get used to. Like, surprisingly, listening to Led Zeppelin, for instance, I had that at first. I was like, this is this guy's voice? Okay. But, eventually I grew to like it. Other requirements. It's got to have some influences of jazz and R&B. And so this is where I'll bring up this chart over here to kind of explain where yacht rock stands a little bit. I wish I could show you guys a little bit more. But, okay, so think about folk rock. but with more bounce. It's gotta be kind of similar to like disco soul, but a little bit more laid back than that. It's not like you don't go out to the dance floor with it, but it's got a little bit of the disco.
You don't go out to the dance floor, but you might start dancing in your chair, but not get up.
Right. Or you gotta do this, or like
You'd be like, I almost want to dance.
yeah.
But I don't really.
It makes you want to sing, if anything, but I don't think it. I wouldn't say it's necessarily a danceable one, unless you're like dancing with a partner, nice and smooth. Think about like Quiet Storm. Have you ever heard of Quiet Storm, the genre?
I've heard of it. I don't really know. Like,
So Quiet Storm, think about like Marvin Gaye,
Oh, okay.
but with less sex.
So just quiet, just
It's got that like, yeah, like that thing about it, like ooh, mysterious and brooding, and like, but it's not quite as sexy as Quiet Storm.
it's just mysterious.
Yeah,
I
and
think a mysterious without sexy is just creepy.
Maybe, and also think about like smooth jazz. So smooth jazz, smooth jazz,
another terrible genre.
and but it's smooth jazz, but it's actually a rock band. It's really like I thought about
rock.
it. Like what differentiates smooth jazz from yacht rock? And it's like, okay, well, it's not a jazz band; it's a rock band. That's really like that's the main difference that I could come up with between smooth jazz and
a thing
and
that
yacht
really
rock.
surprised me listening to all this stuff is like a lot of these songs have some pretty sick guitar solos.
Yeah,
And like,
yeah.
like it'll have this really smooth song going on, and then like this distorted guitar will come in and just rip a guitar solo, and I'm like, that's kind of out of place, but it's actually really cool.
Like I know, like Steely Dan does that a lot. Like, they'll
Yeah.
have like some the guitars in Steely Dan are actually really
And
good.
it's really, and also it's really like cool guitar tones that they'll put in. Like it's not just a normal like distorted rock guitar or something. It's actually like they do some weird sounds to the guitars a lot, at least
get
for
what
the
you're
guitar solos.
Yeah,
We're getting really into the weeds. So what's the
yeah,
next?
yeah. All right, next point is got to use electric piano. That's
Okay.
pretty self-explaining. I don't know. It's
So
gotta
it gives
have
it that smooth sound.
yeah, smooth sound. Yeah, it's gotta have complex and wry lyrics.
I don't think every song.
No, I don't think
that,
every
like,
song does.
specifically describes Steely Dan.
It's specifically Steely Dan, but I can also, it is more accepted to have more
Yeah.
complex and wry lyrics. That's fourth point. That was the fourth point. Fifth point. Hold on, I haven't been counting. Lyrics about heartbroken, foolish men, particularly involving the word fool.
That's just
And-
what a fool believes.
And what a fool believes is like the most common one, but actually there's been when I was listening to this playlist, I was looking out for that, and there's at least two other songs not by Doobie Brothers that throw the word in fool.
Ooh.
I
So
was
they're just very like not creative.
maybe
So like
sometimes
Michael McDonald mentioned the fool, and that got big. So
I feel like there's certain words that tack onto particular genres. I don't know, like I'm not gonna be able to think about an example right now, but let's see. And then the last one is that it's gotta have an upbeat rhythm, which they call the doobie bounce. That's what I was talking about. That is it can't be folk rock. It has to be more than folk rock. It's somewhere between folk rock and like that disco soul, like that Philadelphia soul. You know what I'm talking about? So somewhere between folk rock and Philly soul is really where this yacht rock tends to be. And you kind of think to yourself, is this a really shoehorned genre over here? Maybe, but surprisingly enough, we came up with like there's a solid amount of songs that like fall into this.
well, didn't you have like a playlist of like 400 songs or something, or was that the playlist that was online?
No, I have had a playlist before that's about 3 hours long, but then looking deeply into it, I found that there's a lot of yacht rock songs in there. So I had to. The playlist I put together for this show has 100% approved yacht rock song. Yes, yeah.
You said, but I think the people that made
the people who made that podcast, they have their
they had a playlist with like 400 yacht rock songs on it, and that's a lot of songs. So
it is a lot, and there's some surprising ones too, which I guess we'll get to over here. All right.
But who are some of the artists that most encapsulate yacht rock? Like when people talk about yacht rock,
Oh, for sure. For me, is Doobie Brothers with Michael McDonald, not before Michael McDonald, and Steely Dan. I mean, for me,
Those
those
are
are
the
just
two.
like those are the two main pillars. Of course, there's a bunch of other ones as well that people, think of in their heads.
What do you think is the difference between like the type of yacht rock that the Doobie Brothers make compared to like Steely Dan?
Well, the Doobie Brothers were very based on around the vocals of Michael McDonald. I think that was like the main element, and I mean, it was still, yeah. There's that, and also like their background. They come from more of a. I mean, the Doobie Brothers were originally a hippie band back in the early '70s. They got that song "Jesus Is Just Alright with Me,"
That was
and
them.
yeah, that was them. Yeah, and so their music kind of carries a little bit of that. It's a little bit more laid back, whereas like Steely Dan is a lot more. Uh, it's very carefully thought out.
It's like
They-
heady.
Yeah, it's very heady, not only in the lyrics, but also just in the music itself. It's crafted. They didn't just come up with a song like in one afternoon, and like they started the song and then they keep coming back to it, adding elements, shifting elements, and they're notorious for like spending hundreds of hours in the recording studio trying to get the perfect album to come out. So I mean, kind of a very different style, but at the end of the day, at least I think that the two definitely have some sort of similarity.
Yeah, I know they're like the two pillars. Is like they're pretty pure yacht rock for
Yeah.
a lot of their career at least. And then there's other people that kind of like dipped in and out. Like Michael Jackson has a yacht rock song.
Yeah,
Who else?
he's got a few.
Kenny
And
Loggins made a bunch.
Kenny Loggins, who is a star in this in the Channel 101 series. Even though I would say his yacht rock output is a little limited, but he's definitely there. There's been a few songs from Toto, a few songs from I would say also Christopher Cross. He was a kind of a little bit of a latecomer, but
But so this genre, it's not like there was a bunch of like bands that just made yacht rock. There was a couple, but it was really
Yeah.
like during that time. Like what were the years you'd say? Like late 70s, early 80s.
yeah, late '70s, early '80s.
Like that was just like a genre that was like going on at the time that like people dipped their toe in, and like kind of some people made like a bunch of songs in there, but not a lot of people were like purely yacht rock.
Right. A lot of the songs, especially from the mid '70s, that classify as yacht rock, I'm pretty sure the people who made them never intended to like
Yeah.
hit the sound. They just happened to like, make a soft rock song that was a little bit too bouncy, or make a more soulful song that was a little bit more laid back.
And like, was this? And I know like they didn't get the name Yacht Rock until later, until like whenever the series came out. But was it called something else before? Or was it like not really defined?
It wasn't really defined, but it fell into kind of like the adult contemporary, like adult oriented rock is
Yeah.
what they would call it back then. You definitely like, there were certain stations that played it, certain stations that didn't, but it was a lot more widely. It wasn't music for the high schoolers. It was more music for
Yeah.
the when you want to go on a yacht, and
Yeah.
you have to have a little bit more money to spend at that point. Yeah. Anyways, this is it's all a little bit of like intro. You have any other introductory questions about Yacht Rock?
No, I'm ready to start hating on it.
Oh, starting to hate on it. Yeah, and I guess I'll make a point that I don't know exactly how it died out. I think just the '80s kind of killed it. Especially a lot of the early '80s yacht rock is just already starting to blend out into other stuff. Like you talked about Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
And like, while there's some yacht rock elements into the songs, a lot of Michael Jackson just very much like moved in a different direction and all of that. I mean, the genre wasn't like a real genre back then. It's just kind of like, people took on different sounds or.
Yeah, it was just a sound that was going on. It wasn't really classified as its own genre yet.
Right. I mean, Steely Dan, the B Brothers, they really kind of stopped making music at that point too. So they were just out of the.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So let's talk about this playlist that I put together.
Playlist discussion.
Playlist discussion. It's got this playlist is about an hour and 45 minutes. It's got 25 songs. I put in a few more songs of Doobie Brothers and Steely Dan just because, they're the two pillars, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, and so who are some of the other artists that were on there?
Yeah, so some other bands that I haven't mentioned include Pablo Cruz, Stephen Bishop, Boss Skaggs. I think that's another good one to point out. I did throw in there a song by Hall & Oates, even though I think they mostly, classify in a different genre. But there was the Little River Band, Al Jarreau. Even Quincy Jones makes an appearance in here. Quincy Jones being more of a jazz guy, I think he appreciated this style. Mark Jordan, Paul Davis, Nicolette Larson. I think she's one of the few women in this genre. And James Ingram. I don't know. I think I covered a lot of them there. Yeah.
So we can. So let's talk about some of the pillars first. So
yeah. Okay.
There's Doobie Brothers and Steely Dan.
Yes.
Let's talk about Doobie Brothers first. I generally like the Doobie Brothers.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Like their songs are fun or sweet. I like What a Fool Believes. Minute by Minute, I actually thought was really good.
Yeah, I really like that one.
Yeah, I like the chorus, the minute by that shit.
Yeah.
It's catchy, it's fun, it's got that bounce, It's
and these songs also back when I was younger and because a lot of these songs might be a little bit slower. Back when I was younger, I took Minute by Minute and I sped it up. And I think if I have the files on my computer, actually my computer's right here, that if you play it just a little bit fast enough, it sounds like a Jackson 5 recording almost, which is kind of funny. But yeah, anyways.
So yeah, Minute by Minute, What a Fool Believes is, it's a classic. It's like the classic Yacht Rock song.
Right.
I keep forgetting, isn't that a Michael McDonald solo
Yeah,
song?
that's a solo. That's after he left.
It's got a funky bass line. It's really cool. It's a lot like, I don't know, it seems more like sultry or something than normal Yacht Rock.
Yeah, it's a little bit more sultry. It's got a little bit more of a groove, which is why it was sampled by Nate Dogg.
Yeah.
When he did Regulate. Regulate? Yeah. And what about It Keeps You Running, the other song that I throw in there?
It's fine.
Okay.
Like I didn't dislike any of the song, any of the
the Doobie Brothers song?
Doobie Brothers, yeah. I didn't dislike any of the Doobie Brothers songs you put on there. I think they're good. Like, they're doing Yacht Rock, but they're doing it well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean they're a good band. They've been around. They have their solid foundations. And Michael McDonald, I don't know, his voice is just...
Michael McDonald just sounds like a joke. I don't understand. Because he doesn't... I don't know. It sounds like he's not... It sounds like he's putting it on. I don't know, like that voice. It sounds like he's faking it.
Yeah, I guess I see what you mean, but I don't know. People find their style of singing.
I mean, it works for him, but just sometimes I'll be listening to him and I'm like, you don't sound like what is this? But I don't know if he does or not.
Right.
So I can't say that he doesn't sound like it. It just sounds like he's faking it.
It's weird that his voice is I feel like he has deep undertones, but I don't think he's singing at a very low register. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, because if I try to match his voice, at least when I try to do it, I don't sound as deep as as he comes out. Even though I know I'm at the same note that he is. Yeah, but Doobie Brothers, I think they were. I can't say very high praises for their individual albums, but yeah, I have a playlist of some of my favorite singles from them, specifically the Michael McDonald ones.
Yeah,
and, I could just put that on and listen to that.
Mm-hmm. And so yeah, Doobie Brothers are fun. Now on to the bane of my existence.
What, Steely Dan?
I hate Steely Dan.
You hate Steely Dan?
I hate Steely Dan.
Oh my god. I thought that you would actually like Steely Dan more than
I thought I would
ones.
Too, but I don't like them at all. They come off as pretentious dicks.
They do come off as pretentious. I never thought that, I've never thought ill of them though. Maybe it's because I hang around a lot of pretentious people myself, but like
maybe.
oh, but
because it's just the music. It sounds like yacht rock that just takes itself too seriously. Like because the Doobie Brothers don't take themselves seriously. Like he's writing songs about heartbreak and stuff, whatever.
Right.
But like they're having fun. Steely Dan is just like spending 100 hours in the studio to make shit. Like what is?
I mean, I really like Steely Dan. I can't say their singles are. I mean, overall, I think Doobie Brothers has better singles, but Steely Dan, like their albums, I think are great, especially Aja. That's the one that has the song Deacon Blues on it.
The worst song I've ever heard in my life.
I had such a hard time picking which song from Aja to put on there because I like so many of them.
Deacon Blues is like 8 minutes long, isn't it?
Yeah, that one's like almost 8 minutes long.
And the lyrics are so weird and make no sense.
He at one point he says like, I cried when I wrote this song, sue me if it goes too long. And
fuck you. Like just go fuck yourself. Cut it in half then. Like
no, but I feel like that's like his most
I know he's being sarcastic and like no.
I feel like that's like his signature song is Deacon Blues. You know,
it sucks.
I mean, if you guys are not familiar with it, it goes they call Alabama the Crimson Tide.
Call me Deacon Blues.
They call me Deacon Blues.
Why? No,
because they got a name for the losers in the world.
They got a
name for the winners in the world.
Winners. They're called winners, and they also have a name for the losers. It's called losers. I don't understand what this guy's talking about. There's no different name for a winner that there's not for a loser.
He just wants a name for himself.
He has a loser. His name is Dan. He's Steely.
I think the name Steely Dan is I think it's based on like
he named it after like a vibrator,
yeah,
vibrator,
yeah.
Which is also stupid. Fuck you. and just Deacon Blues shit. What is Deacon Blues?
Well, a deacon, if we're gonna go into it, is a lay person from the Catholic Church who is ordained to be able to do things like marry people.
So what does that have to do with the Crimson Tide?
Well, the blues is because he's blue, and the blue is contrasting with the crimson, and
so the deacon is thrown in there for what reason?
You know, I don't know. That's his name. That's the name he made for himself. You know, he's not.
But it makes no sense.
Does the Crimson Tide make any sense?
That doesn't either. Like I don't know why they were called the Crimson. What's the thing? Roll Tide? Is that the Crimson?
Roll Tide?
Which is what does that mean?
It means you are sleeping with your sister.
But yeah, so yeah, fuck. What's it called? Bad Sneakers. Terrible song.
Bad sneakers and a pina colada.
So stupid. It's just the chorus is like it sounds like a run-on sentence.
A lot of it is run-on sentences.
And the only song I liked was FM.
Okay.
And specifically because the guitar solo on FM sounded like a David Gilmour guitar solo.
Yeah, I can see that.
I like that a lot because I love David Gilmour. And like just the way that he played, I don't know if they did that on purpose, but it sounded so much like David Gilmour.
I mean, that song is like different than the other ones in that it was made for a movie, so I feel like they could try different stuff because it didn't need to fit into into the album. It didn't need to fit in with the other songs that they did. So and also it was more rocking, you know. It needed to like amp up the movie or whatever.
Also, I don't like this guy's voice.
The Donald Fagen.
I don't like Dan's voice, and I don't that's just I don't like it. It just annoys me. I
don't know what I can say about that. It's definitely not a Michael McDonald voice. I can tell you that.
I just hate everything about it.
I think it fits his lyrics very well though. I think his voice.
Yeah, and the lyrics make me want to punch him.
Oh my god.
I don't like Steely Dan. I really don't. I don't know.
Like, you fit in really nicely with the Eagles then.
I don't like the Eagles very much either, but I do like them more than Steely Dan. and I don't know. I've never had this much of a visceral reaction from a band, but I just hate them. I don't like Steely Dan, and like I want to give them a chance.
You don't like the more complex arrangements that their songs offer.
No. What do you mean complex?
I mean they're not.
They're not like a prog rock band or anything. They're not doing anything crazy.
Not. But like I mean, they still have a very tight song without, they don't go off
It's like
too
they
much.
ripped all the soul out of rock music, which Yacht Rock does in general, but they did it like to the nth degree. They're just like,
Yeah, I guess rock music would be a little hard to like. It would be a stretch to call them rock music. I mean, it is in the sense that it has guitars and it has a bass and drums and stuff like that. But like beyond that, it doesn't really like.
The problem with any of these like smooth genres, like Yacht Rock, soft rock.
They're definitely one of the more jazzy ones.
It's like the smooth. What they mean by smooth is that like any emotion or like soul or something to the music is stripped from it.
Yeah, he cried when he wrote that song.
Okay, you cry for stupid reasons. I'm sorry. So Steely Dan to me just epitomizes that, like no soul in their music. They're in the studio for 100 hours for one song to make sure there's no drop of any emotion in it or anything. They just like play this guitar solo so it sounds like a robot did it.
They do have kind of like an opposite mentality of David Bowie. David Bowie was known for like doing like at most 2 takes of any song, and like he'd be like, "Nope, I'm not doing any more takes." It'll lose the emotion of
Bob Dylan did that too. He said if they couldn't get the song in 2 takes, then he's just like, we're not doing this song. That was his early, his good stuff, like the 60s.
Yeah. Now these guys are not, they're just like, oh, play that riff again. Okay, we're going to put that segment in. And then, like, they're just copying and pasting a bunch of stuff.
I hate that shit. I mean, I guess Jimi Hendrix kind of did that stuff too, but Jimi Hendrix was a genius, and these people are not.
They're very talented. I mean, I will still stand up for Steely Dan. I think they make great music. But you clearly hate them. So
yeah, I don't like them. But so I mean, we can talk about some of the other songs on here. A highlight for me was "Low Down," Boss Scoggs.
Boss Scoggs is good. Yeah, I think he's.
It's like I don't know. I like the sound of his voice. It kind of had that song specifically. It was kind of funky.
Yeah.
It sounded like sterile. Like I don't know, like a sterile funk. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. It's like funk if it was safer, I guess. But
what happened?
It's
funk if it was safer.
Yeah.
He has another song that's about the Lido deck, which is really funny. Lucy hates cruises.
I do it. I hate. I went on one cruise in my life, and I'm never going again. It was the worst experience of my life.
Me and my friends who listen to Yacht Rock, we actually went on a cruise for 7 days one time, and it was fun. Did you
play Yacht Rock the entire time?
No, we didn't. I don't think we were super into Yacht Rock at that point. Plus, I don't know. We didn't really play music. I don't know, but we definitely ate a lot of sushi, and
we hit up the open bar. Bad sushi from a fucking
bad sushi from a
buffet, my friend. But Boss Scoggs was cool. What was the other one I liked? Might have been it.
Might have been it. You can't squeeze out any other ones that you like.
The Michael Jackson song. What was it?
The Girl Is Mine with Paul McCartney.
The Girl Is Mine?
I almost threw it in there.
It's hilarious. That song is the funniest shit because Michael Jackson is just being like, no, Paul McCartney, that's my girl. And Paul McCartney's
like, are you sure?
Yeah, Paul McCartney isn't the manliest man in the world, but compared to Michael Jackson, he definitely is. And he's just like, Michael, I don't think you understand, like, that's a woman.
A grown woman at that too.
and Paul McCartney's trying to do him a favor and be like, no, I'll take that. Like, I'll take her. You don't know what to do with that, so I'll just take that. And I do like the song though; it's catchy. I mean, it's a Michael Jackson song. It's not. It's like it's gonna be catchy.
Yeah.
But didn't they do another song together too? Him and Paul McCartney. Like Ebony and Ivory.
Yeah. No. That was Paul McCartney with Stevie Wonder.
Oh, okay.
But they did another song, "Say Say Say." That was released on a Paul McCartney record. But that was more Michael Jackson style of like the Thriller style.
Yeah. So let's see. Another song I liked, "Save It for a Rainy Day."
Save it for a rainy day.
I like the horn section on that. It's a fun song.
Oh, that one has the word "fool" in it too.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Stephen Bishop.
Song I hated, "Yamo Be There."
Yamo Be
What does that
there.
even mean? What is Yamo Be There?
I think that song is actually more religious than like people.
Yamo, is it Yahweh will be there?
Maybe I don't know. But it says like at some point Michael McDonald is saying like Heavenly Father, or was that James Ingram who was saying that line? I don't know. It's talking about Heavenly Father, like you gotta stick through the hard times because Yam will be there. And I don't know what the hell that means, but I think it's supposed to be vague, as in like, is it you're gonna be there for me, or is Yahweh gonna be there for me? I don't know. I think
it just comes off stupid. But so another one, This Is It, Kenny Loggins. I actually really like that because I like the way Kenny Loggins sings on it. Because there are parts where he's like almost screaming on it.
Yeah,
it's like it's a more like emotional performance than basically any other song on here.
It's so strange that Kenny Loggins got his start as like a soft rock person. He started off with Loggins and Messina. That was, the song Daniel.
The Elton John song?
No, this is the Loggins and Messina song. Well, whatever. It's like an acoustic song, and then he I think Yacht Rock was like his like in between phase where he was like, because he went all out like I'm all right, and like Footloose.
Yeah.
You know Footloose.
Sure, I don't know.
The song. Okay, whatever.
It was that song? Because I know that song that you were singing.
No, that's the song for Caddyshack, and Footloose is the song for Footloose.
How's the Footloose one go?
Gotta cut the footloose.
Oh yeah,
Footloose.
I know.
And
all these '80s movies, yeah, I don't know much about them. But
so Yacht Rock was kind of like his stepping stone, and he made some remarkable contributions. I mean, he co-wrote "What a Fool Believes," and he has a song, "This Is It." It's kind of like the in between there. But yeah, I like that one. I was surprised actually, like before doing a dig into Yacht Rock, I didn't paint Kenny Loggins as a Yacht Rock kind of person. Like,
I mean, I don't know much about the guy, so I listened to the song. I mean, how many Kenny Loggins songs did you put in there? Just that one?
Just that one, yeah.
I mean,
he has
it
a
was
few
kind.
others,
It wasn't. I mean, that was kind of one of the lesser yacht rock songs. It wasn't like pure yacht rock, so it makes sense, I guess.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say he's one that's like defines the genre. I think he was just kind of like passed through it.
So what's your opinion on Steely Dan? Because I hate them. You didn't really say like
I kind of said
love them.
I think love might be a little bit too strong, but I've definitely grown to like them more and more every year.
Should I try listening to the whole album?
Maybe. I don't even know if like the earlier stuff might be more for you, or like maybe the later stuff, like what he did in the 80s, what Donald Fagen did in the 80s. But I know I really like them, especially like their later stuff. Donald Fagen's solo album I thought was really good. Aja I thought is really good. I've been trying to get more into like their middle albums, like Katie Lied, for instance. And Katie Lied is actually one of Mac DeMarco's favorite albums. I know how much you like Mac DeMarco. So
another person who helped to ruin music. We need to do a Mac DeMarco episode so I could shit all over him.
Mac DeMarco, for anybody, he's been one of my favorite artists this past decade. So we see. I think he has a lot of shit on.
I hate him. I don't. Okay, I don't hate Mac DeMarco. I actually like. He
seems like a very cool guy as well.
I mean, him as a person seems cool. I mean, in interviews and shit. And like I've actually liked songs from him and stuff, and I just can't really get into his albums, and mostly because his sound isn't really a sound that I love. I hate that there's so many people copying his sound because it just ruined music. In the 2010s.
It did get kind of driven into the ground, I would say. I think that sound is pretty much like past at this point.
Because I just hate that. Like if there's like a group of people doing that sound, and it's just like one section of music, it's like that's fine. They're doing that. I might like a few songs from there,
but if
it
overtakes...
was all of indie rock the 2010s. That was all of indie rock.
Yeah, you really came in at a time that that was going on. I remember when like Mac DeMarco was still like, oh, who's this guy? He plays guitar kind of funky, but like but I will say I have my criticisms of 2010s indie rock as well. But okay, but from over here though, I mean, like one, I really like Steely Dan. I highly recommend you check them out, like especially Aja. I think that
I don't.
Great. But some songs that I put in this playlist that I like. You didn't mention Paul Davis. This song is a little bit different.
Which song was it?
Cool Night.
Oh yeah,
that one's like on the border, like on the edge of what Yacht Rock is. It's a lot more similar to. I keep mentioning this, the the 10cc sound. 10cc.
I mean, that soft rock thing is like
it's got a lot of
it's like on the border.
Yeah, it's got a lot more overlaid like vocals, and like the production's a little different. It's a little bit more haunting, like like a nighttime like drive through, like the fog kind of thing. What's another one that I like in here? I like the Little River Band Reminiscing. I think that's my favorite song from them.
I like that song too.
That one, like, I think captures the essence of just like, no worries, let's get on a boat and like forget about life.
It's just that my problem with this genre, at least the playlist, is that like half these songs, like I wrote notes for them, and half of them were just like, it's fine. There's like nothing very
like outstanding about it.
Yeah, it's like
memorable or something.
Like if it comes on, I'm like, it's fine. I'm not offended by it. It doesn't make me want to turn it off, but it also doesn't make me want to pay attention to it. Or
I guess that makes sense. I guess what I was most surprised when I put it together is that Al Jarreau fit in there, and also Quincy Jones. I don't know if this is like, I don't know if it's a race thing, but it shouldn't be a race thing. It's just
what
like,
do you mean? Like black people shouldn't be?
No, it's not that they shouldn't be. I mean, obviously James Ingram is on here, but like, it always struck me that they were more soulful and more than like what I thought Yacht Rock would be. But like once I actually came through, really took in what the 7 tenets of Yacht Rock actually are. When
you're like coming from the Church of Yacht Rock, and you're just like, once I actually accepted Yacht Rock into my heart, I saw that Quincy Jones is my Lord and Savior.
Quincy Jones and Al Jarreau actually fit in pretty well into this genre.
I stopped hating black people and
oh my god,
and let them be there.
I'm gonna be there. Yeah, that's what it means.
I'm just picturing like a bunch of people in a church like holding the hymnal book, and they're just like, and the preacher, who is Michael McDonald, says, "Okay, all may rise," and they're all like, "Let's read Yamo be there." Just the whole crowd.
Yamo be there. I can tell you one thing though, if there was a church of Yacht Rock,
you join.
Deacon Blues would not bring up such conspiracy theories.
Deacon Blues, they'd understand it.
They're just such easygoing people, And Yacht Rock, I feel like they just wouldn't come up with it.
Steely Dan is not easygoing.
Okay, fine. Maybe they would have probably some weird theories about life and all that stuff, but it would be so convoluted that it wouldn't actually influence anybody.
I think if Yacht Rock was a religion, I don't think Steely Dan would be allowed in it. They're not chill enough. They're all about like, it's funny because like people like Danny Brown or something, like who like rap about the dark side of like partying, like in this generation of rap music, it's a lot about like partying and taking drugs and shit and like having fun that way. Yep. Where Danny Brown is kind of like the dark side of that, like he talks about that a lot. Yep. I view Steely Dan as the dark side of Yacht Rock. Where they talk a lot about like alcoholism and shit, but it's like if Jimmy Buffett was an alcoholic. Which he probably is. But
he probably is. He has several songs about it. All right. Any other comments on my fantastic playlist that I've laid out over here?
I mean, not really. It's fine.
It's fine.
Yacht Rock is just not a very
it's
interesting genre.
I think it's a good playlist. I don't know.
It's fine. I don't.
It's very catchy. You can sing along to it. And
it's just so barely.
It's very laid back, but also with a bounce.
I don't like it. So. We can leave it off there.
If you like it, if you've checked out the series Yacht Rock, the HD, watching it like the HD quality, or if you want to listen to more Yacht Rock, check out the playlist attached to wherever it is that you're listening to this / watching this.
Yeah, on YouTube. Yeah,
on YouTube. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
yeah,
guys, thanks for listening. You can follow us on Twitter at. What was it? Blood on the Mic 1. Follow us on Instagram at Blood on the Mic. Follow me on Twitter at Torna Lewis.
Hit that subscribe button. smash it, and also ring that bell if you want some notifications.
Ring the bell delicately, but demolish the subscribe button and the like button. Leave a comment about how stupid we are or how much you like us.
Yeah, if you like Steely Dan, also leave a comment about that.
Don't. You can, but I'll eviscerate you in the comments. Bye.
Bye.